Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It is a hashtag Friday Sews Day. So thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag. It's a great way to get to know some of the sewing vloggers that you might follow or that you are part of in the YouTube community, and it's a lot of fun. So I encourage you to go and check out the hashtag and get to know some more people. All right, so today I'm going to talk about I'll do my usual format. I'm going to talk about what I've been working on, what I'm going to be working on, and a little bit about life. Okay, so what have I made this week? I made nothing. Obviously, I've been traveling since the Thursday before last Friday Sews, and I will not be home until Sunday, the 26th. So I have not made anything, but I did start on a knitting project. So in last Friday Sews, I think that's when it was, I told you that I was going to be making the Brioche Licious shawl designed by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. I gotta tell you guys, I attempted that and I couldn't do it. I need to work on that when I've got the time and the patience. So I figured out the garter tab cast on, which once I followed a YouTube tutorial, I was able to get that part done, and that was a little confusing. But I did follow a garter tab cast on tutorial on YouTube from Andrea Mowry, so I was able to figure that out, and it was less confusing than it looked on paper. So that part wasn't the problem. The problem was once I got into the pattern, there are new increase stitches. They're new for me. I had never done them before. It's like you have to knit through the front, and then before you slip it off the stitch, you knit through the back. That one was fine, but then on the next row, you had to knit through the front, then through the back, then through the front again before you slid it off. And I thought that I got it, but I literally cast this on probably about 10 times, because you do the first 2 rows are the same. You do that for quite a period of time. I did the first 3 rows with no problem. When I got to the 4th row, at the end, there's supposed to be a place where you slip off or drop the yarn over from the previous row. And for those of you that aren't knitters, I know that sounds like gobbledygook, but those of you that are knitters understand, I was supposed to drop the yarn over from the previous row at this one stage, and every single time that I got there, the yarn over was like 2 stitches away. And I paid really close attention. I made sure I was doing everything exactly as I was supposed to, and every single time the yarn over wasn't where it was supposed to be. I didn't have time to figure out, well, I had time. I didn't have the patience at that point in time to figure out what I was doing wrong. So I scrapped it and decided to go with a simple shawl that I had seen on YouTube, and I'll put her channel below, and I'll link it in the description box. But basically, this woman kind of just talks you through how to do a super simple triangle scarf, and all you're doing is you cast on a couple of stitches, and then you're just knitting. It's a garter stitch, so you can see garter stitch, which is just straight knitting the whole way, but then you're increasing on one side, and it's the increase that I had just learned on my Brioche Licious shawl, where you knit in the front, then knit in the back before you slip it off. And so that happens along this edge, and that's what creates that shape. And that's all you do, is you just knit every single row, but on this side, on the side that's slanting, you do an increase at the beginning of the row. And you do that until you have the size shawl that you want. Because what happens is this side becomes the top, and then you've got this part that becomes the triangle, if that makes sense. So it's going to end up looking like I knitted on the diagonal when I didn't, because the top is going to be like this, and this is a a self-striping, not really striping, it's like a variegated, but it almost comes out looking like stripes. And I have enough of this to make the whole shawl in one color, but you know, I don't do that. So I took one of the other yarns that I was gonna use for the Brioche Licious, and I'm gonna combine these two. And I think I'm just gonna do it at the end so that there's like a big chunk on one side. I like the idea of that. And so it's combining this ball that's like, it's like a light blue and lavender combination, and then this has kind of, you know, the sea green. I'm sorry guys, the lighting in this hotel room sucks, but it's got this kind of like sea green, and then it's got the same shades of like light blue and purple and magenta in it. So I think it's gonna look really cool together once it's knit up. So that's what I'm working on. It's a mindless, easy project for traveling. So I did some on the train, I did some in the hotel room, and I'll work on some tonight when I get home, and then, you know, all weekend, and then on the plane. So that's the only thing I've been working on. What will I make next week? So as I said, I'm getting home on Sunday. I'm only gonna have a couple of days home before we're off again. So I'll be home, I don't think we get home till late in the afternoon on Sunday, so I don't know if I'll feel like doing anything Sunday night, but all day Monday, I'm gonna work on a couple of more of the dresses for Project Dress-A-Girl. And I'm sure that you've already heard of this because everybody is participating. It's a really amazing cause. I'm gonna link Madi from Madi Sews. I'm gonna link her channel and her intro video in the description box. And I really encourage you to go check out the hashtag Project Dress-A-Girl, both on YouTube and on Instagram. And if you're participating, make sure that when you post a picture on Instagram that you are using the hashtag Project Dress-A-Girl, and that you're tagging Madi from Madi Sews for Curves. That way she can capture your beautiful dresses in her video montage at the end of the month. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple of more dresses for that project so that I can get those done and in the mail to Madi before the end of the month. Let's see. Oh, if you're not on Instagram, then you can still participate. You would just want to send Madi your pictures of your dresses before you donate them to your local ambassador, or if you're shipping them to Madi, she will take them to the ambassador for you, and all of that information will be in her introduction video, but I will link her email below as well. It is hello@madisews.com. So yeah, so you can just email her your pictures and still participate even if you're not on Instagram. All right, so then we're to life. So I've had a pretty jam-packed week. I'm a little tired, to be honest with you. I'm ready to go home only because I have yet to sleep in a comfortable bed. All right, so the first thing that we did when we got in town, we had the high school reunion, my husband's high school reunion. You guys, I had so much fun. I'm friends with a few of Michael's high school friends, so I knew them and I was able to chat with them, but I also met some other classmates and I was able to chit chat with some people. I didn't feel like I needed to hang on my husband all night, so he was able to go and enjoy, you know, chit-chatting and visiting with all of his old friends. So we actually had a really nice night, and that was a lot of fun. Then that was Saturday night. Then Sunday we drove down to Baltimore and we went to the Ravens Kansas City game. Whew, was that a nail biter? But that one was a really good game. It was a nail biter the whole way through. So that was a lot of fun. So then on Tuesday, we got up and drove from Baltimore to Trenton. We took New Jersey Transit to New York City, and our plans were to go, we had tickets to see Devo in concert Tuesday night and a Broadway show on Wednesday night. Well, before we even left to go to New York, we found out that the Devo concert got canceled. So I'm not sure. They didn't explain why, but my husband looked and it didn't look like they had great ticket sales. And we're kind of thinking it's because they picked too big of a venue. It was going to be at Radio City Music Hall, and I'm not sure that Devo still has the clout to sell out or even sell the majority of tickets at Radio City. They probably would have done better at a smaller venue. So we were disappointed, but not heartbroken. It would have been fun, but it was nice to have a night to relax. So we just went out to dinner and then back to our hotel room. What was interesting in New York is that, and luckily we knew this ahead of time, even to go into restaurants, which we didn't know about the restaurants, we knew it for the concert and for the Broadway show, you have to show your vaccination card and your ID and wear a mask at any indoor venue. So every restaurant if we wanted to eat inside, required our vaccination card. And the Broadway show, we had to show our vaccination card and ID to get in. So I thought that was cool. So felt a little safe being crammed, safer, I should say. I know it's not foolproof, but it is a deterrent. So we felt good about that. We went to the Broadway show Wednesday night. We saw Six, which is a musical about Henry VIII's 6 wives. And it's their take on their, point of view of their life, being married to him and which one of them had the worst situation. It was really good. I liked most of the music. There was one song I wasn't crazy about, but really the costumes were amazing. The music was great. All of the women were amazing singers. If you get a chance, you can listen to the soundtrack on Spotify, and it was a lot of fun. It was a shorter than usual show. It was, I want to say, 80 minutes. There was no intermission, but there was no set changes. It was just them, each of them in the singing their song. So it was one after the other, with the rest of them being like the backup for each other's solo song. And I loved the fact that the cast was diverse. It was great. And I highly recommend it. If you get a chance to see Six on Broadway, or if it's traveling, I encourage you to see it. It was a lot of fun. So tonight we're back in Philly, and I have plans to have dinner with some of my old friends from my old job, and I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen them since well before moving, because we shut down the office for COVID at the end of March 2020. I moved in December of 2020, but I hadn't seen them. I think I saw one of them once during that whole time, but we hadn't seen each other before I moved since March. So it's been a year and a half since I've seen these friends in person, so I'm kind of excited about that. So that's what I'm getting ready to do once I'm done filming here. Saturday, we're gonna have lunch and do an escape room with my stepdaughter, so I'm looking forward to that. Hadn't seen them since right before I left. My husband's been back, so he's seen them, but I haven't seen them since December of last year, so I'm excited to see them. And let's see, then Sunday, go home and relax and have a good night's sleep in my own bed. Then Tuesday, we're leaving town again. My husband's birthday is next week, and so we've decided to go to Naples, to the resort that we went to for our anniversary back in June. We loved it a lot, so we're looking forward to getting back there and spending a couple of days on the beach and just relaxing and being waited on. But before we go there, we are going to another community on the Gulf Coast to check out the city and the neighborhood of a neighborhood where we're considering building a house. So that's what we're going to do Tuesday afternoon, and then we'll spend the rest of the week through Friday in Naples just chilling out and relaxing on the beach. And then I'm going to have a weekend to recover before I start my new job. So that's been my whirlwind life for the last week, and it's not over yet. Anyway, so sorry there's no sewing to talk about this week. Hopefully that's not too boring for you. Anyway, wherever you are, I hope that the weather is beautiful. It's not lovely here. It's raining and a little dismal. So luckily, I think the rain is done, so we won't have to drive in the rain to go to dinner. Anyway, but wherever you are, I hope the weather is lovely, and I hope you're able to get some sewing in, and thank you so much for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.